I have one question, folks. What is wrong with these people? Are they really trying to push us? Are they really trying to push us to make this economy implode? Because it can happen. And actually it should. I ran into an article where Black Americans in New York are basically coming at the Reparations Commission about some proposals they're still trying to force on us. And it's actually infuriating that we are the only group they continue to try to do this. If we need to go after people's jobs and positions, so be it. I'll be back. Hey folks, thank you guys for returning to check out this video. Those who are new and just checking out the video for the first time, because you're interested in this topic when it comes to Black Americans and repairs that should have been given to our people right after the so-called emancipation, and you're just interested in everything concerning our history in this country. Those who don't care about our history, you don't care anything about us, but you want to just come hear what I'm saying. Hey, but let's get on with this. Okay, I got this article a couple of hours ago. I wasn't even planning. Okay, you don't even care about all that. Yeah, so it says chaos erupts at New York reparations hearing as foundational Black Americans clash with left-leaning groups. Freedmen Project advocates say eligibility should be based on lineage to survive constitutional changes. You know, you can't base it on race. So you have to base it on our lineage. Some of the advocates are pushing for $800K each for Black Americans, aka foundational Black Americans. Those of you who have an issue with FBA, it's in this article, okay? People are saying foundational Black American in the article. Black residents in New York are voicing sharp concerns to state officials over a proposed reparations plan, warning that broadening the program's scope to include other marginalized groups and recent immigrants could opt out and dilute their movement, and that is what they're trying to do. It's intentional. Those who see nothing wrong with them including other groups in our fight. Look at the reparations this government gave particular groups. You want to say those who call themselves natives, Jews, LGBTQ. What they were doing with the illegals 2-3 years ago. Well, was it that long ago? That was specifically for them. What they do for the Asians. Karen Bass, she gave the Asian community, $1 million and something. What they do for countries outside of our country. They don't give this money to groups in other countries and say, hey, by the way, Americans, you guys can get some of this money too. It's specifically for the group or the country they're giving the money to. Why are we still speaking against what they're trying to do? Why are they continuously trying to force other groups into what was done to our people historically? Listen, what does other marginalized groups have to do with us? If they feel that they've been done wrong, they can pick up the fight just like we've been fighting, just like our people before us have been fighting. Martin Luther King was fighting. All the leaders before us who were about something was fighting for reparations. And we never included any other group because we're the only group in this country who ancestors were put in chains and forced to labor for hundreds of years. And then after that, they had to deal with discrimination and racism in every corner of this country. If your ancestors were not forced into slavery, You have no business trying to get in on what is happening, on what we're demanding from this country, from this government. Someone says, I think it's important because as foundational Black Americans who've been here since the founding of this country, we've been here longer than that. Some of us have been here longer than that. Coming in as slaves and also indigenous people who are here, we have a claim to the country. Aubrey Muhammad told Fox News Digital. We have our own culture and we deserve to be compensated for what our ancestors have been put through. I wish you guys would eliminate the word deserve. Please eliminate it. You have a right to what your ancestors were put through. You have a right to what came after slavery. You have a right to be compensated for what happened after slavery. Remember, people, it's not just slavery. It's all the wicked things they devised to impede our communities, to disenfranchise our community. Muhammad delivered this testimony to the New York State Community Commission on Reparations Remedies during a crowded public hearing at Hempstead High School on Long Island last month. During the session, he accused Democrats of actively importing Latinos from South America to fill voting roles as replacements for us, while further alleging that incoming populations are gentrifying traditionally Black neighborhoods. In a follow-up interview with Fox, Muhammad doubled down on his public testimony. The Democrats, in a sick way, imported 25 million immigrants, and 70% of them came into poor Black neighborhoods, Muhammad claimed. Hempstead since the 90s has been flooded with immigrants. That's taken the resources, putting them towards others. Demographic data from the U.S. Census Bureau shows that the village of Hempstead has undergone significant demographic shifts over the last 3 decades. Those of you guys who have checked out my videos, you will hear me say numerous times that I've been seeing the get down since the 90s, and I warn my people over and over and over again, or I tried to warn you guys about what they were doing since the 90s. But you guys was coming and actually said to me, well, they just want a better life. They're just coming over here for a better life. They just want the jobs that we don't want. Why don't you speak for yourself? Because there are people who didn't go to school. They didn't go to trade school. They didn't go to college. And those jobs that they came over here greedily taking, your people could have gotten. Your high school daughter or son could have took those jobs after school. They could have had after school jobs. They could have had summer jobs. Now these people then got into those low-paying jobs, those jobs that you looked down on. Now they're your supervisors. Now they're your managers. Some of them even became executives. Now what, Black Americans? What are you going to do about that to rectify not heeding the warnings? Today, the community of roughly 59,000 is evenly divided between majorities, sitting at approximately 45.7% Black or African American and 44.8% Hispanic or Latino. In 1990, the Hispanic population accounted for around 14%. Do you see what they're doing? Anyone who want to sit here and believe that it is not intentional, it is not a plan to try to push us out. And I keep saying the only reason they want to pump in immigrants into this country is because these people, unfortunately, they love to not be challenged. They just want the yes sir, ma'am. That's all they want. They don't want challenges. They don't want people bucking up against them. They cannot stand it. They just want you to shut up and go along with what they want to do. And we are like, hell no. We're not going to shut up, and we're not going to go along with what you want to do. And since Trump came with this plan to give people compensation who participated in a crime that the world saw, he had no blockage or issues to do this. Only thing that stopped him was the intense backlash. That means that showed us that you guys always had the money, and you show us all the time. You just chose not to. That is blatant discrimination. And every Black American in this country who is fighting for justice, who demands justice, need to bring suits against this government for disenfranchisement, for intentional disenfranchisement, and for discrimination. Because every time you pay a group and tell us you can't pay us anything, that's discrimination. I'm going to read a little bit more of this article, and I'm going to play this clip of basically Joy Reid exposing what a lot of, I don't know if these are Black Americans or other melanated immigrants in politics know, but wasn't going to tell us. You know why they weren't going to tell us? Because they want their jobs and careers. That's why. I just always used to think there is something. I know there's some kind of programs in this government that we don't know about. What I say about, what I mean by we, I mean those called Black Americans. We don't know about these programs, these resources that are available to everyone if you know about it. And these people that we call boule, these people who are Black Americans, have strong roots in this country, they have sold us out over and over and over again. These people who are in politics and they are Black Americans and they have strong lineage in this country, they are their grandparents told them about the horrific things they went through and great grandparents went through and so forth and so on, and you know this, and you have been actively working against us, or you build these platforms and you're anti-Black and you have a whole Black family with strong roots in this country, it's a special place for you. It's a special place for you. And Black Americans who are about justice and about our people, we need to pull their platforms. We need to pull the rug from under their feet. Now listen to what Joy Reid said. Now she's speaking French. Remember Joy Reid? And they were talking about, hey, you know, these people are talking about tangibles and reparations. Remember, they was like stone cold against it. Joy Reid is speaking a whole different language. Check this out.
Something back, you should start to pause and take a better look at what they're saying. Better look at those accounts and seeing what they're saying.
Okay, all right. So at that time on Joy's show, if you said tangibles, if you're not going to do nothing for Black folks, you're not getting our vote. That was a problem. Remember, Joy Reid was calling us Russian bots. You know, we can't think on our own. It got to be some white man and white people from across the seas to influence Black people because we're so mindless and we can't think for ourselves. That was the most insulting thing ever, to call a Black person thinking for themselves a freaking Russian bot. Joy was saying that we were putting out misinformation and disinformation. Joy was one of the queens of that on MSNBC. We haven't forgot that, Joy. And neither did you ever come out and apologize for it. Let's listen to Joy Reid in 2026, ladies and gentlemen. Now she done got five with the white folks over there at MSNBC. Let's listen to Joy now.
We asked about HR 40 or reparations even for a study. They don't want to touch that. What you got, sis?
Apparently, reparations are something that MAGA is in favor of. And now that we know, I think that it's really important for us to act on the information that we have received. Now that we know that a president can, without Congress, without going back to Congress, because who knew? You know, there's a fund that Congress has pre-appropriated, as you will know as a former congressional staffer, that sits there in case there are settlements that the government needs to make, so they don't have to keep going back to Congress every time. Donald Trump has now tasked his Justice Department to dip into that settlement fund to the tune of, and you gave me this information, $1,776, in order to give reparations to the insurrectionists. Well, now that we know, sis, the next time there's a Democratic president, I don't want to hear anything about them not being able to do reparations. I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay, so now that we understand the uses of power, we get to apply to that too. So the next time there's a Democratic president, we don't want to have a commission. We don't want to have Congress do a study. We don't want anyone to do a study. You are going to start issuing reparations to the descendants of African, formerly enslaved African people, to the Tulsa survivors' families, to the families of the survivors of every massacre that has taken place with the government of the United States either standing aside or participating. Because now we know that we can do reparations. So guess what, Papi and Mommy Chulo? The Black people are going to be coming up to the table to get reparations.
You see how quickly she changed her tone? That is someone you cannot trust. I would never trust you, because I used to see some of her clips that people put online with her talking reckless and greasy about us and all in our business. And she's a, first gen immigrant here, and had the nerves and audacity to speak about our affairs. what is she, Jamaican? I don't even know where she is, but let me go to her country and tell her government what they shouldn't do for her or do for her people and see what will happen. But yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't gotten whiplash by how quick she flipped the script. These people are a trip. They really do think lowly of us, Black Americans. They think that they can talk so crazy about us and to us and speak against us, and then they supposed to, just because they supposedly changed their tunes, we're supposed to be like, oh, okay, well, you cool now. No, it don't work that way.
Let's get things clear, okay? If any reparations would go out, Joy, I hate to break it to you, sis, but you wouldn't get it. You see, you have to come from the lineage of freedmen, okay? And your family immigrated here to America. Now, you were born here, but your family immigrated here to America, okay? So your lineage goes back directly to the continent through your parents. You're not a descendant of freedmen. So the we thing, no, it won't be a we. These people here, their jobs are threatened. I'm talking about the Angela Rides, the Joy Reeds, all that little circle. It's threatened right now. It's threatened for multiple reasons, but the main reason is the community has moved on.
Important for us to act on the information that we have received. Now that we know that a president can, without Congress, without going back to Congress, because who knew? There's a fund that Congress has pre-appropriated, as you will know as a former congressional staffer, that sits there in case there are settlements that the government needs to make, so they don't have to keep going back to Congress every time.
Okay. Joy said something important about Angela. She said, you know about that fund because you're a former congressional staffer, and she agreed that she knew. So, Angela, question for you. Why didn't you tell Black people this for years? That, hey, you know what? We and you're a lawyer too, Angela. Why didn't you say, you know what? We can go get our reparations that way. So, Angela, question for you. Why didn't you tell Black people this for years? That, hey, you know what? And you're a lawyer too, Angela. Why didn't you say, you know what? We can go get our reparations that way. So, Angela, you knew the government had money sitting there that could have been our reparations. You a lawyer, and you mean to tell me you couldn't get with other lawyers and tell the community about this money that's sitting to the side that could be paid out? You didn't say nothing. You knew about it. You're promoting HR 40 in the study, yet the cash payment was right there the whole time, and you knew. That's why people can't take y'all seriously when y'all talking that way, because y'all say things and then think you said something. Joy ain't really spoke.
Now I'm going to read a little bit more of the article, and then I'm going to play clips of people who are either a part of the reparations task force or they were just present at the meeting. I think that we are owed a debt, Caprice Rains, a local resident who attended the event as a spectator. The public hearing was organized by the state's 9-member Reparations Commission, which was established by law in December 2023 to gather public input and examine the historical legacy of slavery and subsequent discriminatory policies in New York. Why do you need public opinion? Did you get public opinion when you was giving illegals money? Did you need public opinion when you gave the Asians a hate crime bill? Did Karen Bass get our opinion when she gave the Asian community millions of dollars? And I could go on and on when you did things for the LGBTQ community. When Obama and others did things for the Latino, Hispanic community. Do you guys get our input? No, you don't. Now stop this nonsense. And Black Americans, we need to demand that they stop. For real. Stop trying to play us like minstrels. Oh, wait. Black Americans, before we do anything for you, we have to get the public's opinion. Do you not see the psychological game they are playing? They want to buy cars and build them to fly to the moon. They will not ask you for your opinion. They will go and do it. Anything this country wants to do, they do it. Whatever they want to do, they give. They give billions of dollars to whoever they want to give it to. But when it comes to us, that's when they want to come in and get your opinion. And you people who fall for this mess, you're going to pay a price too. Check these clips out.
We need $800,000 for each foundational Black American. In New York, that's about the cost of living that'll get you a home or a small business or for you to recover from any financial duress.
Their testimony about reparations and how we can make sure that we are fixing the harm that's been experienced in New York State, whether it's slavery and its vestiges.
Cash, because it's tangible. It's right in front of you. You know, it's something you have.
And my grandfather, his father, and his grandparents were slaves here. And so I think that we are owed a debt. Reparations is very important.
Now, there are a lot of badges and incidents of slavery that also have to be covered under reparations, but it needs to start with payment, because our ancestors worked how many years for free? That is, if you worked at a job and they did not pay you, you would have to get back pay for that. And so that is the fundamental part of it, is that they need to start with a check. Then we can start addressing education issues, redlining issues, policing issues, all of these other issues that are badges and incidents of slavery.
It's about the blood, sweat, and tears of my ancestors, my grandparents, my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents.
But from the state of New York, what we can see is because of their intricate dealings with slavery, when we talk about Wall Street, we talk about the stock exchange, and those first stocks and bonds being people that were in bondage, right? And in chains. And so from New York is uniquely positioned to be one of the states that could, based on its budget, have the funds to actually pay direct cash payments. Most of the states, they're not in a position. But in that instance, I think both the state of New York and the federal government, it has to start with direct cash payments.
Each individual who spoke, they made excellent points. I'm not knocking them. I'm not taking anything away. But this next young lady that I'm going to play, she made a great point. She said the main thing that they deprived us of is finances. Slavery wasn't just about using our bodies as like cattle or chattel, perversions, because they were so enthralled by our bodies, the definitions of our bodies. They were fascinated by the glistening sweat and the tones and the muscles, because you can see the definition of the muscles better when your skin is dark. They were fascinated and obsessed at the same time. But anyway, the thing that they have used the most as a weapon is finances. So it's only fair and right and just that they compensate us financially so that we can build our own infrastructures for which they have tried to impede. Case in point, Black Wall Street. That's one example of how they always came in and directly destroyed our cash flow. Check this out.
Financial compensation is really the only way that I think to really get true justice. It's been the greatest impact to our community overall, generationally. And so by policy and finance, it's how it's been institutionalized in the first place. It is the way to repair it.
I dare you naysayers come in and try to dispute what she said. I dare you. How many people was actually bothered about what Trump was trying to do with for his allies without any hesitation? How many people were actually bothered, right? But when it comes to us, these people literally broke the law. But when it comes, and then their problem was, they was a little too harsh in their disciplining us. I understand I did wrong. Some of them don't even think they did wrong, but they were a little too harsh, and I couldn't find a job. Wow. Okay, I have two more clips I would like to show you guys. This young lady is breaking down what she perceives as Trump, directly showing you what your Democratic presidents could have done for you instead of skipping and playing games and shucking and jiving. Whenever we talked about reparations, they had so many excuses as to why they could not directly give reparations. But Trump came in and said, I want to give my homeboys and my homegirls this, that, and the other. And y'all ain't going to stop me as the president of the United States. Now, I know a lot of you guys ain't feeling Trump. He's done a lot of reckless, scandalous, nonsensical things. But he's showing you what could have been done. Now, it's time for you guys to get your head from out of the sand and demand that this party that you guys made the Democratic Party, demand that they pay back what they owe. If you're familiar with Black Alpha, I want you to see how this politician danced around when he asked him a direct question about reparations to Black Americans. That politician is why I do not like politicians on either side.
Right. One thing that we all can learn from him, right, is that if the Blue Party wanted to do anything for y'all, they would have done it. You got to pay attention. The man not finna get up here and give y'all 100 literal speeches. But if you pay attention to his actions, the stuff that he do, he's literally showing y'all, if y'all would just stop and just think for a second, he's literally showing y'all how they was planning y'all goddamn face. He done all of this shit within 2 years. And the Blue Party has been in a chair for 12 years and ain't do shit for the Black American community but keep using their Trump. DEI wasn't even for us. That was for immigrants. That was for people of the rainbow community. That was not for Black Americans. But guess who they always use for vote? Black Americans. If that man didn't show y'all anything, he showed y'all that if they wanted to do it, they would have done it.
What are your thoughts on reparations for Black Americans? Oh, I think that we need to make sure that there is opportunity for everyone in America, and there haven't been enough opportunities.
Nothing specific for Black Americans?
Well, I think we need to look at early childhood and where we started. I think we need to look at where different dollars go in terms of economic development. I think we need to.
Had income 40 been for a long time.
Well, but like in
Black Americans.
In Kentucky, what we were able to do, for instance, I get it. I'm trying to give you an example of what we've done. Okay, I appreciate it.
You don't report it? I'm not sure. Here, let me follow up. Let's okay, where are you?
Yeah.
What's your name?
It's on my card.
Oh, no, tell me your name.
Okay,
Thank you. So, he doesn't support reparations for foundational Black Americans, and y'all seen every single excuse that they gave. And y'all know exactly how it goes. Kentucky, I ain't asked about Kentucky. I said for Black Americans and Americans specifically, like immigrants get. And then this is the type of things you get from these Democratic Shield conventions. Shout out to Foundational Black Americans. Grassroots will continue to press them. They got Clyburn in the potty here, but we're still right here certified all day.
People have no problem with people getting compensation as long as it's not Black American. No, people get compensations all the time. Go to a store and get bad customer service. Call customer service, call their corporate office and tell them what went down, and they'll send you a coupon. Manufacturer's coupon. You can either get a whole product for free or a discount. So people have no problem with getting compensations. It's just when we talk about it. But you know what? We don't care what you think. And now that we saw how this government can work, we ain't taking no more damn studies, because you know how much money they spend on these studies? But they don't have no money though. But they'll spend money on a 2-year, 3-year study. You know what? Black Americans, they be trying to play us like we're remedial. They really do. And it's past time for us to let them know, you're not going to play me. If we need to shut down this entire economy, so be it. I was looking at, I think it was African Diaspora channel. And he said that he saw a clip with this woman. I believe her first name was Alicia. She was on some panel, a known panel. I think it was The View, because I think he was saying how he was surprised and shocked that she said that on their show. I was trying to look for the clip. I didn't look too hard, but anyway, he said, but he didn't show the clip either. But he said that Alicia, I believe she said that if Black Americans wanted to, they could cripple this entire economy. I ask you, before I end this, Black Americans, my precious folks, why haven't you done it yet? Didn't I say you guys aren't tired yet? You're not tired of being tired, used, abandoned, abused, mistreated in every level you can think of? When you're tired of being tired, there are going to be multiple corporations in this country, America, the great corporation, that will have to file bankruptcy, and I'm looking forward to it. And if anybody didn't like what I said, I don't like how my people have been treated. Now what? All right, folks, thank you, those who rock with me to the end of this video. I always appreciate you. If you are a new subscriber, welcome and thank you so much. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing. And they have this new feature where you can hype the video within the first 5 days that the video has been uploaded. I thank you so much for hyping this video. Until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.